Anybody else feel like that Bulma could have subverted all of Aransu's plans by offering Majin Buu endless chocolate chip cookies? Just me? Well, time to finally talk about Gomah's full potential in this episode. Let's discuss it. All right, guys, Brian here back for Geek Variants, cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, Dragon Ball Daima, episode 17, Goma. And I gotta say, this episode was one of the shining lights of why this series is actually fairly decent. I will say that the plot and the amount of just overall fluff throughout the season has been overall just the worst. It's been a pain to work through how much fluff there is just to get out a good 20 episode series. However, anytime we have the term Dragon Ball, whether it be Super, whether it be Z, whether it be just regular Dragon Ball, we all know that when it comes to fights, this is when the series really comes out and really shines. Whether it was Gohan versus, Cell, whether it was Vegeta fighting Goku, whether it's everything involving, the first time we saw Super Saiyan 3 versus Majin Buu, this series shines when we finally get to hand combat. And thus, this episode was chock full from basically the beginning all the way to the end with that kind of content. So, this episode is a must watch episode. But let's break down kind of what happened and what transpired throughout this episode. Because originally we started off and we had Aransu versus our Dragon Ball Z squad. We basically had everyone matched up. We had all the ones ready to go. We had all the pieces properly into place. And of course, Aransu has a plan. She's like, look, my best, your best, all the Dragon Balls. And Piccolo was absolutely correct and would have had the same exact mindset I did. I have two Dragon Balls. You have one. Why in the world would we bet our two against your one? There's no logical way to make that work out. Plus, also, I would have been like, look, there's more of us than you. We would just jump you, take the ball, then we have all three. Then we wouldn't have to be doing all this, fancy footwork later on that we see in the episode. But hey, it's Dragon Ball. There's so many logical plot holes. If we took time to break down all of them, the series would probably be maybe 10 episodes because I'd be like, hey, Goku, power up all the way, Kamehameha, or Spirit Bomb. Thanks. Appreciate you. But of course, Goku being the imbecile he is, because we'll talk about also his most frustrating issue later on, is just the fact that Goku once more decides, hey, I'm going to hold back my power. But he decides for everyone right now, look, I want to throw down me, Majin Buu. Let's go ahead and throw hands, even though Majin Buu really wanted to throw hands with Goku for some reason, which, hey, I got to admire the heart. But at the same time, it's not really something that you really want to have transpiring right here, right now. They decide to throw hands. They have a little bit of fun with it. Goku powers up to Super Saiyan 1 pretty quickly on the draw here. So I think he finally realized that Majin Buu, while he is a bit of a doofus, he tends to be someone who is stronger than most people appear because he astutely probably figured out that, hey, no slouch beat Tamagami number one. So at this moment in time, I should probably go a little bit harder than before. As they're throwing hands and getting ready to have actual combat, Goma decides to throw a energy blast right between them, separate them, and make his grand appearance, which I gotta say, it was a bit flashy. It was a bit over the top. I'm not really sure overall, like the level of which that power blast was necessary. But again, I gotta say, Goma just being kind of bit bigger and more jacked, that falls perfectly within every Dragon Ball trope that there ever is. The bigger you are, the more I should fear your power for whatever reason at all. But of course, it gets a huge reaction from everyone like Aransu and who knows what the third eye is, the tertian oculus, as they refer to it as. It grants you insane slash unparalleled was their term power that was lost during Dabura's dad's reign, Abura. So that belt has been missing, even though the belt that one of our companions had is now missing. Remember the one who was hitting on Bulma indiscriminately in front of Vegeta? Maybe there was a reason they were willing to discuss a lot more than what he was going to do. Because Vegeta, of course, seeing Goma, decides, hey, it's time to throw hands because Akira, may you rest in power, my friend. You always put Vegeta in the first line because he always wants to throw hands first. He acts first, thinks later, even though he's smarter than Goku. He's still somebody whose pride will continue to get in the way and decide, you know what? I want to throw hands with Gomah right here, right now. And, well, we can all know how this goes. If you follow Dragon Ball for any period of time, you know that Vegeta always goes up against the main villain first, gets rocked, and then Goku will come in and then try and handle business, or he'll pass it off to his son to go finish the job for him because he's lazy. So that's basically where we left off. Vegeta was fighting Gomah, then they have a break, and Goku, for the first time in I don't know when, literally looks at the group and goes, "Everyone, we need to fight." Which I don't know if that's saying like he really believes that Vegeta was able to assess Gomah like that quickly by the events that transpired, or he just is able to sense the power level that is radiating from this belt. And we're seeing that that evil third eye has now astutely been placed on Gomah, so he's going to be a huge threat for all of us. So we have Piccolo, we have Glorio, we have Vegeta, we have Goku. We're going in on this thing. There is four people there, plus Supreme Kai, who I'm just counting as hanging out, which, hey, love the heart, love the hustle. I don't think you're ultimately going to make a huge play in this thing, but they decide to help. And then Bulma, of course, being the intellectual that she is, looks at Aransu and is like, hey, aren't you going to help? You have two powerful people here. And she didn't even have to go the whole diatribe of if you want your plan to succeed, he's got to go. We can't have the person out here with the Tertian Oculus being able to use their power as they see fit. Because if our group goes down, you're next. They didn't even have to go that logic. We finally had a smart villain in Aransu be able to correctly assess the situation and be like, look, Bulma asked for help. We need help now. And she's like, you two, go have fun. So Ku and Du join the fight, only for our old sage Namekian to then decide to go at Tamagami number one, who I think for half a moment in time thought he was flirting with him, and I was starting to get the same weird vibes of just, are you giving me permission to go fight, or are you hitting on me? Because the answer is yes to the fighting. The hitting on me is a no. We're not even discussing it. We're not going down this road. But ultimately, then he's like, he just winks at him, uses his staff. Next thing you know, Tamagami number one is powered up. He goes and joins in the fight. So we have in all 7 people fighting directly against not Glorio, Gomah. So Gomah is now just in this insane situation where you think, oh, he's just gonna get out rivaled, he's gonna get outmatched, he is going to be defeated in no uncertain terms. Yeah, we all thought a little bit wrong and a little bit incorrectly here. He was ready to go against everybody at all moment in time. He's handling business proficiently. There's ki blast, energy blast, there's swords, there's punches. Everything is basically not touching him that he doesn't want it to. That eye seems to have like an infinite spam for just blocking. Remember how impressed we were because Goku was Ultra Instinct and just kind of like bobbing and weaving perfectly at every single moment he needed to, and just had his eyes closed and was just, having a good time with it, just rocking, just rolling, feeling out the fight, having a great time. Yeah, Goma's just literally like repel, 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 including everyone's final blast directly at him. He literally got it, repulsor blasted, and knocked everybody out, even to the point Vegeta's like, hey, I could use a heal. When was the last time we saw Vegeta say, hey, I'm going to need a heal? Things are going bad. I'll eat a bug. I'll wait because this is the first time. And ultimately, then Goku is seized by Gomah and he's held up. And Goma's like, cool, I'm going to finish you right here, right now. Only for Du and Tamagami number one to jump in and stall. Only for Goku to be like, all right, cool. I'm going to stop holding back. We are getting our insides blown out, Goku. Pause. And ultimately, you have been holding back Super Saiyan 3 for what reason? I hear Vegeta and his pride. What are you doing? What is your excuse? A lack of understanding, a lack of wherewithal. You saw that he was a threat great enough that everyone needs to help, but you decided not to power up. What are we doing? What in the world are we doing, you doofus? Why? Goku will be the end of everyone if he keeps this up. But as we all know, the fight continues on, and next week there will be an awakening. I will say it is still cool to see Goku every time we have Super Saiyan 3. What would really be cool to see is you hit the lovely red subscribe button, golden logo in the corner, red subscription box below. Both are free. Greatly appreciated. And as always, if you're already subscribed, you know where the like button is. YouTube, I've hit all your plugs. Leave a comment. We'll see you in the next one.